Gladkov. Mr. Boris Gladkov. He's with the Soviet mission to the UN. You met him at a cocktail party a few weeks ago.
The Harris.
The Harris party. Yes, Mr. Ames. Would you mind waiting just a moment?
Thank you.
Boris, something or rather Fedorovich. Soviet mission, huh? But how did he know where I remember he asked for my card.
New York is beautiful this time of year.
Yes, isn't it?
What is so rare as a day in June, eh? James Russell Lowell.
In fact, June is busting out all over. Rogers and Hammerstein.
Very good. Oklahoma. No, Carousel, I think.
Yes, I believe you're right. Mr. Ames will see you now.
Thank you.
Mr. Gladkov, how nice to see you again.
Mr. Ames, I hope I haven't come at inconvenient time.
Nothing.
I had such a good time at the Harris party.
Yeah.
It was one of the best evenings Mrs. Gladkov and I have had since arriving in States. What a delightful office you have here, Mr. Ames.
It took him a long time to get to the point. He talked about the weather, the high cost of living in New York City, his health, the furniture in my office, and a lot of other subjects before he came to the one that apparently brought him here.
And now to business, Mr. Ames. You remember we discussed the new marine turbine that your company is developing?
Yes, of course.
Well then, my government has instructed me to commence negotiations with you for the purchase of several turbines. Our engineers feel that it is the best available, and we're interested in exploring arrangements.
Several turbines.
You see a problem, Mr. Ames?
Well, quite frankly, Mr. Gladkov, I'm not sure that we can make a deal.
Why not?
Well, I'm not certain that we'll be able to arrange an export license.
Oh, my dear sir. You talk as though we were after some of your space secrets. This turbine of yours is a civilian model, no?
Yes.
Well, we intend to use it in our commercial vessels.
Well, in that case, I'll have to check and see if we can arrange to get an export license.
You'll let me know then.
Oh, I'll let you know. I got on it right away. Before the day was over, I had a reading from our legal department. It was good news for me. Our commercial-type turbine could be exported to the Soviet Union.
Thank you, Mr. Ames. Yeah. I may tell you that my government is considering the purchase of 6 turbines. Turbines. I think that's the right way, isn't it? 6, yeah. Well, this is not definite yet, you understand. Oh, I should be able to let you know in a week. At the outside. Good. Till then, Mr. Ames.
You realize, of course, that this was beginning to turn into a pretty fair-sized piece of business. The price tag on just one ship's turbine runs high, and 6 as a start. However, as it turned out, I had to curb my impatience. I didn't hear from Gladkov for 2 months. Yes, Sally. Oh, he is he? Well, send him in.
Mr. Ames, how nice to see you again. It's been too long.
Indeed it has. Whatever happened to our deal for 6 turbines?
Well, it's still on as far as I'm concerned. I'm still waiting for clearance from my government.
Oh, I see. Well, sit down.
Thank you.
Cigarette, Mr. Gladkov.
Thank you. What's this? The military version of the turbine?
No, that's one of the civilian series. The turbine we've been talking about.
Oh.
This is an actual working model. We're going to put it on display at conventions across the country.
Oh, very interesting. I suppose the military version is more powerful.
No comment. But this should certainly be good enough for your civilian ships. It develops up to 25,000 horsepower.
Really?
The real thing is bigger than this room.
Mr. Ames, I'm sure there'll be no difficulty with our negotiations. None at all.
Well, I'm delighted to hear it.
Now I'd like to change the subject a bit.
Yes, I believed him. I guess I wanted to. Besides, he was a very pleasant man, very outgoing. In fact, on that particular day, all he seemed to have on his mind was to invite me to lunch. I couldn't make it then, but the following Friday was free. And I must say, he was a generous host, a fascinating conversationalist. Politics? No, he avoided that. He talked a good deal about his childhood and youth in Russia, about his family. All of it very interesting. He was a good listener, too. I talked more about myself and my background than I had in years. I introduced him to a lot of people, some of them business acquaintances, and some my oldest and best friends. In any case, Gladkov seemed always eager to make new contacts. Wherever we went, whether it was a baseball game at Yankee Stadium, a museum exhibit, a new film, or a Broadway show, I began to think of him as a close and valued friend. Meanwhile, of course, I was waiting for the turbine deal to come through. Sometimes it seemed very near.
Philip, we just received word from Moscow at the Soviet mission. I think the order will be a substantial one.
Boris, you're not making a mistake. There just isn't a better turbine available on the commercial market.
I'm sure of that. But my people in Moscow would like a little more technical literature on the turbine pamphlets, graphs. Do you think that's possible?
Well, I don't see why not. There's nothing classified about this commercial type of turbine.
Good. That will persuade my people in Moscow to make an even bigger order.
So much the better. I'll have the material put in the mail for you.
Good.
As I look back on it, that was the start. The innocent start of things going wrong. Mind you, I could have prevented it. We were a defense contractor. We had a full-time security officer. If only I had gone to him then. But I didn't. My one concern was to earn the goodwill of a potentially important customer. It wasn't easy. A week later...
As a favor, I wonder, could I have some literature about turbines made by your competitor? It would, I'm sure of this, Philip, strengthen your position with my government.
It was a little more trouble this time. But I located the material, sent it off. Then, sometime later, while I was waiting for confirmation of the order...
The names of the key engineers associated with your turbine, Philip, to help the presentation of your company. And just the names and addresses of your people who are members of the various engineering societies. For file purposes, you understand.
Shortly afterwards, I took my family on a vacation in Bermuda. I was confident I would come back to find the order on my desk. The day of my return, I called Gladkov at the Soviet mission. I was told he had gone back to Russia. I had a sick feeling I'd lost the sale. Well, that's happened to me before. The only thing to do is forget about it. And I did.
Mr. Gladkov, you startled me.
Good afternoon, Sally. Good afternoon, Philip.
Where have you been? They told me you were back in Russia. Now you walked in here.
Vacation. Don't capitalists take vacations?
Capitalists can't afford vacations.
There was a lot of talk, but none of it about the turbine deal. Some friend of his, a Russian engineer, had a technical problem concerning another kind of turbine, a simplified version of ours. I was glad I was able to help him out and get our business deal going again. Again, I started to see a lot of Gladkov. Now and then, while waiting for a film or a show to start, there might be a hint that the turbine order was on its way, but It was only a hint. Meanwhile, Gladkov would ask a favor of me. Usually some technical information for his friend. Nothing classified, you understand. But each time, the problem was more and more difficult.
Yeah,
This time, I had to get some engineers to help me. I guess I've been doing sales too long, you know. I've forgotten a lot.
Oh, not at all. Look, you're a very busy man. And here I come, badgering you with all these questions from my people in Moscow. My engineering friend.
No.
You know.
No trouble at all.
No, but it is trouble. I can see that. Look, why don't you help us out as a consultant? I mean, a paid engineering consultant for all the work that we have to have help on in America here.
I wouldn't hear of it. I was glad to help on a friendly basis. However, at each meeting, it seemed that Gladkov had another problem from his engineering friend, or another question about our turbine, or our company, or the competition. Sometimes it was as simple as getting a trade magazine for Gladkov. Sometimes it involved considerable research. Small expenses were taken care of.
This should take care of long-distance telephone calls. Any other expenses you might have had?
No, it was nothing.
No, please.
Well, if you insist.
Philip, may I speak frankly?
Well, of course. What is it?
I think I'm in a little bit of trouble.
Oh?
Some of our people at the mission seem to be wondering why I'm so enthusiastic about you and your company, and why I'm pushing. Is that the word?
Yes, that's the word. There's no mystery. We've got the turbine that they should have.
Oh, but these are very suspicious people.
Oh, come on.
No, really, I'm
boy.
serious. It would not be wise for me to receive this new material at the mission.
All right, then. When I get it together, I'll send it to your apartment.
Oh, no. Please, no. You don't understand.
What do you want me to do?
Now, we do need it. It'll swing the tide for you, I'm sure of that. They just must not know where it came from. I wonder, do you suppose? Philip, I have an idea.
And what we arranged was a simple drop for the information you wanted. Understand, nothing was classified. Just technical information available to anyone who knew where to get it. As far as I was concerned, it could have been sent by ordinary mail or messenger. But this was the way he wanted it. So I stepped up to a car parked on East 17th Street and opened it as though it were my own car I'd left unlocked. I pretended to look for something in the glove compartment and then walked away from the car, which, of course, was Boris Gladkov's. I must admit to feeling uncomfortably silly about it, but we seemed to be getting closer to a contract, and that helped my morale.
Your specifications have been looked over and approved. In fact, my people want to increase the order. 6 more turbines than we originally talked about.
The pace of the negotiations seemed to move faster now. Gladkov's people were not asking for a single important change in the contract. Yes, Sally.
Mr. Ames, Mr. Gladkov is here. Were you expecting him?
No, but send him in anyway.
Boris, this is a pleasant surprise.
I just received this letter, and I'm glad that it's all...
Excuse me, Philip. Something has just come up. A problem.
Problem? Well, what problem? You took our price, our terms, every aspect of the contract. It's a happy resolution.
I'm gratified you find the conditions satisfactory. Now, Can I have the specifications on the other turbine?
The other? Oh, I can't do that. What you're asking for is classified information. You know as well as I do, that's a military turbine.
Philip, we've been friends for a long time. I'd hate to see the deal on the turbines lost just because.
Look, I'll have to let you know.
Philip, I need an answer. Soon.
I see.
I do what must be done. I'm a practical man. I'm not a free soul. And you must be practical too, Philip. I'm sorry, Philip, but I must insist.
I can't just go and...
Look, I need time to...
Don't waste time, Philip.
I'll have to think about it and... let you know. There's not too much to the rest of the story. I thought about it all right. Mainly what a fool I'd been. The whole picture came clear to me now. Gladkov was an espionage agent. He had established a friendship with me, led me on and on by dangling an enticing business offer. Just now, when he thought he had me hooked on the bait, he was trying to pull me into an act of espionage against my country. First the smile, and then the sword. There was only one thing to do, of course. It would be embarrassing. But I was not going to submit to blackmail. When the chips were down, I would not let my country down.